The only way to win back your dreams is to take fierce control of your time. 7 days of discipline can change the course of your entire life. Reclaiming your dreams begins the moment you decide to stop giving time away. What if the time you keep losing is the very time you need to change your life? What if every day you wait without action pushes your dreams further away? What if the reason you feel stuck isn't because you don't have talent or opportunity, but because you haven't faced the truth about where you are right now? You might feel frustrated, tired, or even overwhelmed by everything you want but haven't done yet. Imagine what it would feel like to finally stop wasting time and start taking control. This is about more than just setting goals or hoping for a better tomorrow. It's about creating a plan you can follow right now to reclaim your dreams and stop losing time to distractions, excuses, or fear. This isn't easy. It requires honesty and commitment, but it's possible. Now let's dive in. Number 1, accept where you are now and stop lying today. The first step to reclaiming your dreams is one most people avoid. It sounds simple, but it's the hardest thing for many. Accept where you are right now. Not where you wish you were, not where you pretend to be, but where you actually are. That means standing in front of the truth without turning away. Most people waste years running from the truth of their current condition. They hide behind distractions. They convince themselves they're doing okay when deep down they know they're falling behind. That kind of dishonesty keeps people stuck for years, and for some their entire life. You cannot fix what you won't face. You cannot grow from a lie. The truth may sting at first, but it's the only place to begin. If you're not doing well financially, admit it. If you've been lazy with your health, admit it. If you've been procrastinating on your goals, admit it. Don't make it emotional. Make it honest. There's no shame in struggling. The real shame is pretending you're not. The people who change their lives are the ones who look themselves in the eye and say, I'm not proud of this, but I'm ready to fix it. This is about owning your reality. No more excuses. No more blaming your past. No more blaming your parents or the world or bad luck. That ends now. The moment you accept where you are is the moment you take back power. It's the moment you stop giving energy to false stories and start giving energy to real change. Think about that. All the time and energy spent justifying your situation, defending your habits, comparing your life to others, has stolen time from your dreams. If you want that time back, it starts with brutal honesty. You might feel embarrassed by how far you've fallen behind. You might feel regret for the years you let pass. But regret is only useful if it moves you to action. What you cannot afford is denial. Denial is expensive. It costs you your peace. It costs you your self-respect. It costs you your time. And time is the one thing you never get back. The longer you lie to yourself, the more of it you lose. Most people don't want to face this part because it means admitting they've been the problem. But here's the truth. If you're the problem, you're also the solution. That's the power of personal responsibility. If your habits got you here, then new habits can take you somewhere better. But you must start from the truth, not from a story. Look around your life. Really look. What have you been avoiding? What have you been pretending isn't a problem? What have you told yourself you'll fix someday? Because I'll tell you something about someday. It never comes. There's no perfect moment, no ideal time, no magical push. What you have is now, and right now you need to sit with the truth. You don't need to share it with the world. You don't need to explain it to anyone, but you do need to face it inside your own mind. You need to be strong enough to say, I haven't been honest with myself, and it's time to change that. You can't build a plan if you don't know your starting point. You can't get to your destination if you're lying about your location. This is why most people stay stuck. Not because they lack potential, but because they refuse to admit how far they've drifted. They're too busy covering it up. They act like they're working when they're not. They act like they're disciplined when they're not. They act like they're committed when they're not. And the more they pretend, the worse it gets. This isn't about shame. This is about freedom. There is freedom in honesty. There is strength in truth. When you face where you are without lies, you give yourself a real shot, a real starting line. You say, this is my mess, This is my reality. But I'm not going to sit in it anymore. That's where change begins. Not in the perfect version of your life, but in the raw, unfiltered truth of your current condition. You might realize you've let yourself down. You might realize you've talked more than you've acted. You might realize you've watched others chase their goals while you've sat still. That's okay. You're not here to beat yourself up. You're here to take control. And control doesn't begin with hope. It begins with honesty. You know what's harder than the truth? Living a lie. Living with that weight on your chest. Smiling when you're not proud. Pretending when you know you should be doing better. That's a heavy way to live. And deep down you know it. You feel it when you wake up late again. When you scroll for hours. When you break another promise to yourself. You feel it in your gut. That ache of knowing you're capable of more. So today we stop hiding. We stop justifying. We stop sugarcoating. You don't need to protect yourself from the truth. You need to face it so you can move. Stand in it. Sit with it. Feel it if you need to. Let it sting a little. Let it wake you up. Because if you don't feel it now, you'll keep repeating the same days. And if nothing changes, nothing changes. This step is not glamorous. It's not exciting. No one claps for it. But it gives you clarity. And clarity is the foundation for progress. You'll start to see what's been holding you back. Not the world. Not other people. Not bad luck. But the choices you've made and the patterns you've repeated. That's the door you need to walk through. The one marked truth. You don't need to have all the answers today. You just need to tell yourself the truth. That's the beginning of this 7-day plan. You can't reclaim your dream if you're still pretending everything is okay. You have to say it plainly. I've wasted time. I've made weak choices. I've avoided the work. But that ends today. Because today you stop lying to yourself. Today you accept what is. Today you put your feet on solid ground. And say, this is where I am. I don't like it, but I'm not staying here. That statement has power. It changes everything. It turns you from a victim to a person who takes action. It puts your hands back on the wheel. And when you've done that, the rest of the plan starts to matter. But without this step, everything else is noise. Don't skip it. Don't soften it. Don't run from it. If you want your dream back, you have to get honest. Honest about the time you've lost. Honest about the work you've avoided. Honest about the way you've given up on yourself. Because once you accept the truth, even if it hurts, it becomes your fuel. People fear the truth because they think it makes them weak. But it's denial that weakens you. Truth strengthens you. Facing it is how you earn your way back. You've got the time. If you stop wasting it, you've got the power. If you stop hiding from it. And it all begins with this one step. Accept where you are now. And stop lying today. Number 2. Decide exactly what you want and write it down. This is the moment where your future stops floating around in your imagination and becomes something you can chase with focus and direction. This is where you take control of what you're after instead of drifting through life, hoping things somehow work out. If you don't decide what you want, you'll keep getting what you don't want. And that's the truth for most people. They live by accident instead of intention. They wait for motivation instead of giving themselves a mission. You cannot keep waking up without knowing exactly what you're trying to build. That leads to frustration. That leads to wasted years, and that leads to regret. Now, this step is not about being vague or general. Saying you want success is not enough. Saying you want a better life is not enough. Wanting more money or more happiness or more freedom is not enough. You have to define it. You have to break it down until there is no doubt in your mind what it looks like and what it feels like. That means deciding the exact number in your bank account. That means describing the kind of work you want to do every day. That means identifying the kind of person you want to be when no one is watching. This process starts with getting quiet. You need space. You need to shut off the noise. Not just the noise around you, but the noise inside you. Because the mind will throw up 1,000 distractions the moment you try to get clear. But sit with it anyway. Ask yourself directly, what do I really want? Not what sounds good. Not what other people expect. Not what's popular or safe. What do I truly want to build with this life? And don't rush it. Take your time. Think, reflect. Be honest. You might surprise yourself. When the answer comes, don't leave it in your head. That's the mistake most people make. They think having the idea is enough. But thoughts fade. Thoughts change. Thoughts disappear. You need something solid. You need it on paper, not typed. Not stored in your phone, handwritten. With your own hand. That's a powerful move. That tells your brain this matters. That says I'm serious. When you write something down, it stops being a wish and starts being a target. It becomes real. Now here's the part most people skip. When you write it down, don't just write the outcome. Write the reason. Write why it matters to you. Write what it would feel like to achieve it. Write what you would become through the process of chasing it. Because that's what will keep you moving when it gets hard. Goals with no meaning fall apart. Goals with no heart get abandoned. You need to connect with it deeply. You need to feel it. When you read it back, you should feel something inside you wake up. Write it in detail. Don't just say, I want to get in shape. Say, I want to weigh this much. I want to run this fast. I want to feel proud when I see myself in the mirror. Don't just say, I want to be rich. Say, I want to earn this much each year. I want to provide this kind of life for my family. I want to wake up without fear of bills. Make it specific. Make it personal. Make it something you can measure. And don't worry if it feels big. Don't worry if it scares you. That's a good sign. If it doesn't stretch you, it won't change you. But this part right here, the decision, that's the difference between those who grow and those who go in circles. People who don't decide live reactive lives. They let other people make the rules. They follow the crowd. They end up in places they never chose because they never stopped to choose in the first place. When you don't decide what you want, you spend your days chasing distractions. You jump from one thing to the next. You stay busy but never move forward. That kind of life is exhausting. And the worst part is you end up with a pile of work and nothing that feels meaningful. But once you decide what you want, you start saying no to the wrong things. You stop wasting your energy on what doesn't matter. You become sharper, more deliberate, more powerful. And here's another truth. Your brain needs a direction. If you don't give it one, it will latch onto anything that gives short-term comfort. That's why people fall into bad habits. That's why people spend hours scrolling or binge-watching or running from responsibilities. The brain is looking for a win. But if you give it a clear purpose, something that's written down, something you can read every morning, your brain starts working for you, not against you. Writing it down is not a small step. It's a mental contract. You're telling yourself, I'm no longer just thinking about this. I'm committing to it. And every time you look at those words, you remind yourself what you're building and why it matters. You create accountability. You create structure. You create a path. This one action can change the direction of your life. I've seen it over and over. People who were lost, people who were broken, people who were stuck, started by making one decision and putting it in ink. That turned on something in them. That lit a fire. Because now they had a picture of what life could look like. They had a reason to wake up with urgency. They had something worth fighting for. And don't think you need to have all the steps figured out right now. You don't, you just need to start with the destination. If you know where you're going, you'll figure out how to get there. The problem is most people never define it. They keep it fuzzy. They keep it distant. That's safe, but it's not useful. Clarity brings results. And clarity starts with a decision and a pen. Take this step seriously. Don't treat it like a quick exercise. Give it time. Give it thought. Be bold. Don't shrink your dream to fit your fear. Stretch your courage to match your vision. You don't need anyone's approval to want what you want, and you don't need permission to write it down. This is your life. It's your future. And it's your job to make it clear. Once you've written it down, keep it where you can see it. Read it daily. Feel it daily. Remind yourself why you started. This isn't a one-time moment. It's the foundation for everything that comes next. If you skip it, you stay lost. If you do it with honesty and courage, you take the first real step toward reclaiming your dreams. This is how you stop drifting and start driving. This is how you take aim at a life that means something to you. And this is how you make sure your days are not wasted. Decide exactly what you want and write it down. Number 3, delete every time wasting app and reclaim your focus. This is not about hating technology or blaming the world for your distractions. This is about taking responsibility for what's stealing your energy. If you're serious about reclaiming your dreams, then you must first reclaim your time. You can't keep letting your minutes get swallowed by things that give you nothing back. Every time you scroll without purpose, you are trading your future for a moment of escape. Every tap and swipe adds up, and those little moments are the reason your big goals stay on hold. The first step is to recognize what's pulling you away from what matters. Look at your phone honestly. Check the screen time if you have to. Look at the apps that take hours from your week but leave you empty. Ask yourself what you gain from each one. If you find yourself opening it without thinking, if it's the first thing you do in the morning and the last thing you do before sleep, then it's not a tool anymore. It's a trap. You don't have to wait for a better time. You don't need to overthink this. If an app takes more than it gives, it needs to go. Delete it. Not just hide it. Not just turn off the notifications. Remove it completely. Because if it's there, you'll keep going back. Your brain is wired to chase comfort. It will find the easiest path unless you cut that path off. This is not just about productivity. It's about power. It's about being in control of your attention. If you can't protect your focus, you can't protect your future. Every day you lose to distractions is a day you could have used to move forward. You say you want to be better, but your time says otherwise. That gap is where your dreams get stuck. That's where frustration grows. Not because you're not capable, but because you keep feeding things that give you no return. Some people say they don't have time. That's rarely true. What they don't have is control. They've given it to endless scrolling, to mindless notifications, to platforms that are designed to keep them locked in. You have to break that grip. You have to take your attention back with force. Don't wait to feel like it. Don't wait until you're ready. You're never going to wake up and suddenly feel excited to cut out your comfort zones. You do it because your goals matter more. Once you remove the noise, you start to hear what actually needs your energy. You stop being pulled in 10 directions, and you start choosing where your effort goes. That's a powerful shift, because now your hours begin to count. You start reading more, learning more, building more, becoming more. You have space to think. You create room to grow. But none of that happens unless you clear out the clutter first. It might feel strange at first. You might reach for your phone out of habit and realize the app is gone. That's a good sign. That's your awareness waking up. That's the moment you get to decide again. Will you keep chasing short-term relief, or will you start showing up for the life you said you wanted? You can't do both. You can't stay addicted to distraction and expect to live a focused life. Think about what you could accomplish in 1 hour without interruptions. Multiply that by 7 days. Multiply that by 4 weeks. Multiply that by a year. That's what's on the line. That's what you're giving away every time you say yes to what doesn't serve you. But when you decide to delete the things that waste your time, you're making a statement. You're saying, I value my attention. I value my life. I'm not here to just consume, I'm here to create. It's easy to justify keeping the apps. You might say, I use it to relax, or I only check it once in a while, or it helps me stay connected. But if it's costing you focus and giving you anxiety, or making you compare your life to others, then it's not helping. It's holding you back. And if something is holding you back, it has no place in your life anymore. Don't make this harder than it is. Open your phone, find the app, hold it down, hit delete. That's it. You don't need a long speech. You don't need a special plan. You just need to act. And once you've done it, notice how you feel. Notice the space. Notice the silence. That silence is not a loss, it's freedom. That space is where new growth can happen. That clarity is the beginning of your next level. Start replacing the wasted time with time that feeds you. Read something that teaches you. Write something that helps you think. Move your body. Call someone who matters. Build a skill. Do something that stretches you. Do anything that moves you forward, even one step. because that one step is now possible only because you made room for it. And if you're worried about missing out, understand this: you're already missing out by being distracted. You're missing out on deep work. You're missing out on peace. You're missing out on becoming the person you know you can be. The real fear should be living a life where you never fully showed up. That's what happens when you let distractions run the show. But now you're the one in charge. Every time you choose focus over noise, you build discipline. Every time you say no to what drains you, you say yes to your potential. It's not just about the apps. It's about what you allow in your life, and you get to decide that, nobody else. You don't need anyone's approval to clean up your digital space. You just need the courage to choose what serves you over what numbs you. This step may feel small, but it carries massive weight, because every powerful life is built on focus, and every focused life begins by removing what pulls you away. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to delete everything forever. But you must be honest about what's helping and what's hurting. That honesty is what builds momentum. That momentum is what changes your results. Don't wait until the year is over. Don't wait until Monday. This is your time. Today matters. Your focus is your most valuable currency. Spend it where it counts. Protect it like it's the foundation of your dreams. Because it is. Delete every time-wasting app and reclaim your focus. Number 4. Create a strict schedule today and follow it fully. If you want to reclaim your dreams, you must begin by reclaiming your day. Nothing changes until your time is directed with purpose. A dream without structure is just a wish, and wishes don't build results. The way you use your hours is the clearest reflection of what you truly value. If your time is scattered, your results will be scattered. If your days are chaotic, your progress will be slow. If you keep doing what's convenient instead of what's planned, you will always feel behind. That's why you need a schedule. A real one, not a loose idea, not a hopeful list. A strict schedule that defines where your focus must go and when. Don't build it tomorrow. Don't build it next week. Build it today. Because the longer you wait to set structure, the deeper you fall into habits that pull you away from progress. The schedule is not a punishment. It's your protection. It's the container that holds your goals in place. Without it, the world pulls you in every direction. Notifications, people, moods, distractions. All start to run your life unless you decide where your time goes before the day begins. Start with a clear morning. Get up and do what matters first. Don't leave your energy in the hands of chance. Plan the first hour of your day with intention. Put something there that lifts you up, something that sharpens your mind or strengthens your body. Don't rush into reaction. Start with discipline. Set the tone early because that tone echoes into the rest of the day. You're not just building habits, you're building momentum. Now break your day into clear blocks. Write down each hour. Assign each one a task. Don't overfill it. Don't make it perfect. Just make it real. Start with the non-negotiables. If you have work, schedule it. If you have responsibilities, mark them down. Now take the rest of your hours and own them. Put reading in one spot. Put physical activity in another. Put quiet time or study or reflection where it fits. Every hour must serve a purpose. You don't need to move fast. You need to move intentionally. Following the schedule is what separates the driven from the distracted. Anyone can plan. Few can follow. That's where your power is built. When the temptation hits to break it, you remember why you built it. When the mood shifts, you remind yourself, this is not about feelings. This is about growth. You keep going even when it's not easy. Because your dreams depend on it. You learn to lead yourself. That's the foundation of achievement. Leading yourself through resistance. You're not always going to feel motivated. That's normal. You're not going to feel excited every hour. That's expected. But if you wait to feel ready, you'll waste more time. The schedule is there to guide you, even when your emotions are off. You don't have to think, you just have to follow. And every time you complete a block, you build trust with yourself. That trust becomes confidence. And that confidence pushes you to higher levels. The reason most people drift is because they don't anchor their days to anything solid. They wake up and let the world decide what happens. They react to everything and then wonder why they feel tired and unfulfilled. But you're here to reclaim that control. That begins by planning every hour before it begins. If it's not on the schedule, it doesn't deserve your time. That standard keeps your energy focused. That standard keeps your distractions out. At first, it might feel uncomfortable. You'll notice the pull toward random scrolling or unplanned tasks. You'll hear the inner voice saying just relax or do it later. But every time you override that voice, you gain strength. You stop living on impulse and start living on purpose. Your actions become deliberate. Your time becomes valuable. And your results start to shift. Make sure to review your schedule each evening. Reflect on what worked. Adjust what didn't. You're not trying to be perfect. You're trying to be accountable. A strict schedule doesn't mean rigid thinking. It means responsible action. It means knowing what matters and making time for it. If something important gets missed one day, make sure it's built in the next. You are the architect of your future. And the blueprint is your daily routine. This is not about doing more. This is about doing what matters. It's not about being busy. It's about being effective. If you schedule deep, focused time, use it wisely. If you schedule breaks, honor them. If you schedule rest, don't feel guilty for it. Balance is not an accident. It's something you build through planning. The key is to make every part of the day intentional. That's where your freedom comes from. From knowing exactly what you need to do and doing it without hesitation. Don't wait for someone to remind you. Don't wait for your circumstances to get easier. Take full ownership. Nobody else is going to create your structure. Nobody else will protect your hours. That's your job. That's your responsibility. And when you rise to it, you rise in every area of life. Discipline in your schedule becomes discipline in your thoughts, in your actions, in your goals. When you follow a strict plan day after day, your life begins to change quietly but powerfully. You stop wasting energy on indecision. You stop bouncing between tasks. You stop losing days to aimlessness. Every block of time builds something. Every hour has weight. Every completed task adds up. That's how your days turn into progress. That's how your schedule turns into success. It doesn't matter what others think of your structure. Some may say it's too much. Some may not understand. That's fine. You're not building their life. You're building yours. And if structure is what helps you grow, then embrace it fully. Don't water it down. Don't make excuses. Own it. Because nothing powerful is built without a plan. Nothing meaningful is achieved by chance. Create a strict schedule today and follow it fully. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Today. Because today is what you have. Today is your chance to start winning your hours back. Today is your opportunity to take one real step toward the future you say you want. And that future doesn't wait. It responds to discipline. It moves for those who move with clarity. You either control your day or your day controls you. You either lead your time or it slips away. You either rise with a plan or fall with distraction. It's always a choice. Number 5. Choose your dream over comfort and act with urgency. Every person who has ever done something meaningful made a choice. That choice was to rise when it was easier to sit, to speak when it was safer to stay quiet, to push when it was more comfortable to coast. Comfort is always available. It's always right there, ready to pull you back into the soft chair, the slow morning, the easy excuse. But your dream will not wait for you. It will not grow while you hesitate. It only begins to take shape when you choose it over comfort and you act like time is running out, because it is. You can't build something extraordinary while living in the ordinary. Dreams require sacrifice. They demand a higher standard. They ask you to give more than what feels good. That means you won't always be relaxed. You won't always feel safe. You won't always feel ready. But the ones who win in life are the ones who move anyway. They trade convenience for commitment. They trade temporary ease for permanent growth. They stop waiting for the perfect time because they know waiting is the slowest way to die inside. It starts with honesty. You must tell yourself the truth. Every time you stay in bed too long, every time you choose distraction over work, every time you hold back on the things that matter, You're making a trade. You're trading your potential for a moment of comfort. That comfort doesn't last. It wears off. But the regret you feel later that stays, the time you can't get back, that hurts. The gap between who you are and who you could have been, that grows. If that doesn't bother you, then you're not hungry enough. But if it does, then you need to act like it. Urgency is not panic. Urgency is clarity. It means you understand the value of your time. It means you don't waste the day because you know how fast it's slipping. If you keep treating every day like it's just another one, you will keep waking up in the same place. The world does not reward the ones who wait, it rewards the ones who move. You have to get serious about the cost of delay. You're not just losing hours. You're losing progress. You're losing momentum. You're losing the version of you that could have been built by now. You don't get to have the dream and keep the comfort. You don't get both. You have to decide. One path is fast pleasure and slow death. The other is daily struggle but real growth. The pain of discipline is temporary. The pain of regret lasts a lifetime. Most people run from discomfort like it's the enemy. But if you want to build something real, discomfort has to become your ally. It has to become part of your lifestyle. Waking up early hurts. Saying no to temptations feels heavy. Doing the hard work when nobody is watching gets lonely. But that's what builds a person of value. The people who achieve their dreams are not more talented than you. They're not luckier than you. They've just made the choice to act with urgency. They've decided that they will not leave their future in the hands of comfort. They understand the price of standing still. They know that nothing comes to you until you go after it with full force. And if you're still waiting for motivation, you're going to wait a long time. It's not motivation that gets you moving. It's decision. It's pressure. It's hunger. Motivation shows up after you take action. Never before. Start telling yourself the truth about how you use your time. Look at your habits. Look at your patterns. Look at where your energy goes. If most of your life is spent in easy tasks, in soft thinking, in short escapes, then your dream is being starved. It needs your full attention. It needs your full energy. That means cutting out what doesn't help you grow. That means choosing progress over entertainment. That means facing hard choices daily and making the one that moves you forward, even if it hurts. You have more power than you're using. You have more potential than you've shown. But you'll never access it while living in delay. You'll never reach it if you keep avoiding the discomfort. The dream demands something from you. It demands you show up early, stay late, and give more than what's comfortable. Not once every day. The urgency you bring is the difference between a dream that lives and one that dies quietly in your imagination. You need to remind yourself daily what's at stake. This is not about pressure from the world. This is about the pressure you place on yourself. Because you care. Because you know you're meant for more. Because you can see a better version of your life. And you're tired of letting it sit out of reach. Every day you have a choice. Stay where you are or move forward. The choice looks small each time, but it adds up. Each time you choose urgency, you take a step. Each time you pick comfort, you lose ground. Most people lose their dreams slowly. They don't even notice. One relaxed day turns into two. One missed task turns into a week. Before they know it, they've become comfortable with disappointment. Don't let that be you. Wake up, stand up, get serious. This is your life. You don't get another one. The clock is ticking and nobody is going to build it for you. Nobody is going to remind you every morning. You have to lead yourself. Write it down if you must. Put it on your wall. Burn it into your memory. Your dream is waiting, and every day you delay is a day you fall behind. The pain of hard work is sharp, but it makes you stronger. The pain of wasting your life is quiet, but it makes you smaller. Don't fall for the lie that you can catch up later. Don't believe the comfort that tells you to slow down. That comfort has stolen too many futures. If you want your dream, act like it. Stop waiting for signs. Stop asking for permission. Stop chasing ease. Choose your dream over comfort. Choose it when it's hard. Choose it when it's boring. Choose it when you're tired. And most of all, act like time is running out. Because it is. Number 6. Do the hardest task first and stop avoiding effort. Every day begins with a choice. You either step toward growth or shrink back into what's easy. The problem is most people spend their energy avoiding the very thing that would change their life. They spend hours circling the hard task, finding small things to do first, convincing themselves they're preparing, when in reality, they're just delaying what they know they should be doing. The hardest task isn't just some line on your to-do list. It's the barrier between where you are and who you're supposed to become. That one task, the one that drains your energy just by thinking about it, is the one that matters most. And you know that. You feel the pressure of it in the back of your mind. You feel it when you're scrolling endlessly, when you're tidying up things that don't need tidying, when you tell yourself, "I'll do it after lunch." What you're doing is building the habit of avoiding effort. You're training your brain to delay discomfort. And once that becomes your habit, it's hard to break. The hardest task is your test. It's the moment in your day when you get to prove if you're serious or if you're still pretending. If you don't take it on first, it keeps sitting there weighing on your mind, making everything else harder to enjoy. That weight doesn't go away. You carry it. And by the end of the day, you've wasted the hours when your mind was strongest and your focus was fresh. That's how people burn time and energy. That's how they stay stuck in cycles. Not because they don't have enough time, but because they refuse to face the real challenge right away. If you want to gain control of your life, do the hardest thing first, not when it feels right, not when it's convenient, but first, before your mind gets cluttered, before your energy drops, before distractions steal your attention. The beginning of your day sets the tone. If you conquer the difficult thing early, everything else becomes easier to face. But if you avoid it, the day owns you. The hard task becomes the shadow that follows you. It grows heavier the longer you wait. Effort is not something to run from. It's the currency of growth. If something feels hard, it means it matters. The easy things won't change you. They won't stretch your thinking. They won't challenge your habits. They won't test your limits. The task you don't want to face, that's the one that will make you sharper, stronger. That's the one that will build the muscle you need to reach your next level. Stop treating effort like it's something to be feared. Start respecting it like it's the doorway to progress. People often lie to themselves and say they're tired, they're too busy, or they'll be more focused tomorrow. But what they're really doing is avoiding pressure. They're protecting their comfort. They're trying to preserve energy while their goals sit unattended. There is no reward for hiding from effort. You don't get more peace. You don't gain more time. You just lose momentum. And the more you avoid the hard work, the harder it becomes to face yourself. There's a shift that happens the moment you decide to stop negotiating with your responsibilities. When you stop asking, "Do I feel ready?" and start saying, "I'll do it now." That shift builds power. It gives you control. It breaks the chain of hesitation that's been holding you back. And that's when your life begins to change. When you stop waiting and start doing. Doing when it's hard. Doing when it's uncomfortable. Doing when every part of you would rather wait. This is the discipline you need to build. Not once a week. Not when the mood hits. But every single day, when you wake up. Ask yourself, what's the one thing I've been avoiding? What's the task that makes me nervous? That's your starting point. That's your training ground. Every time you choose to face that challenge first, you rewire your brain for courage. You train yourself to lean into pressure. You build the skill of execution. Not planning. Not imagining. Executing. Some people live their whole lives stuck in planning mode. They spend hours organizing their notes, rewriting their goals, studying strategies, but they never move. They stay in preparation mode because it's safe. There's no failure in planning, but there's also no progress. The people who build real success, the people who make their dreams happen, are not the ones who organize best. They're the ones who take action when it's hard. They walk toward the pain. They get the heavy thing done before the world even wakes up. If you look at the most successful people, their mornings are not filled with comfort. They're filled with sweat, with focus, with effort. They don't ask their body how it feels. They don't wait for the right moment. They choose discipline over comfort, not because they enjoy it, but because they understand what's at stake. They know how easy it is to lose a day, and they refuse to hand it over. You have to build the habit of doing the hard thing while it's still early, before excuses take over, before your willpower fades. And the more you practice it, the more it becomes normal. You start to feel proud of your effort. You start to respect your own time. You begin to see progress where there used to be delay. This is how confidence is built, not by repeating positive thoughts, but by showing up and doing what you promised yourself you would do, especially when it's uncomfortable. You don't need more motivation. You don't need a perfect schedule. You need courage to begin. And that begins with facing what you fear, the project you've put off, the conversation you've avoided, the work you know matters but feels heavy. That's the task that should start your day, not because it's urgent, but because it's meaningful, because it will shape your identity, because it will push you forward. You must start seeing effort as a gift. It's not the enemy. It's the tool that sharpens your mind. It strengthens your will. It gives you control. Every time you push through the resistance and complete the hard thing, you are becoming someone stronger, someone more capable, someone who doesn't wait for life to be easy before taking action. That's where real confidence comes from. Not from words, from action. Stop telling yourself the lie that you're not ready. You are. You're just scared. And that fear doesn't go away by thinking. It only disappears when you move. When you stop dancing around the hard task and start doing it. That's when your energy comes back. That's when you feel alive. That's when you remember what you're capable of. The hard task is a mirror. It shows you who you are. Every time you avoid it, you say, I'm not ready. But every time you face it, you say, I will not let fear make decisions for me. Start saying that every morning, not with words, but with action. Do the hardest task first, and stop avoiding effort. That's the kind of choice that builds a life you can be proud of. Number 7, look in the mirror daily and demand real change. When you wake up and walk to the mirror, you're not just brushing your teeth or fixing your hair. You're standing face to face with the one person responsible for everything you do or don't do. That reflection holds your story, your choices, your missed chances, your wasted hours, your excuses, your victories, your losses. It's not about how you look. It's about who you've allowed yourself to become and who you keep avoiding becoming. Most people go through life refusing to really look. They glance, then turn away. Not because they don't care, but because deep down they know they haven't given their all. They know they've settled. They know they've waited too long. You cannot change what you won't face. You can't demand growth from a version of yourself you keep hiding from. The mirror isn't just glass. It's truth. It reflects exactly what you've built with your actions and what you've destroyed with your neglect. And the reason so many people feel lost is because they stopped checking in. They stopped asking hard questions. They stopped calling themselves out. You have to get brutally honest. You have to stop waiting for motivation and start demanding progress. Look at yourself every single day and ask, is this who I want to be? Not just in words, but in effort, in habits, in how you carry yourself when no one's watching. There's no magic to transformation. It begins with self-confrontation, the habit of calling yourself out before the world ever gets the chance. If you're tired of feeling stuck, go to the mirror and speak the truth out loud. Say, I've wasted time. I've made excuses. I've lied to myself. But not anymore. That moment changes everything. Because until you tell the truth, you'll keep dragging the same old lies into a new day, hoping something finally clicks. It won't. You've got to stop hoping and start deciding. Real change starts the second you stop pretending. If you're unhappy with where you are, the person in the mirror has to change. Not the world, not your boss, not your friends, not the economy. You have to take full ownership of every single result. No more blaming, no more waiting for the perfect moment. You've got to decide that who you've been is not good enough for where you're going. And you've got to say it directly to yourself. You have to make yourself uncomfortable. Growth doesn't happen when you keep comforting the part of you that's lazy. It happens when you challenge it. Look at your life and be honest. Are you proud of the effort you've been giving? Are you pushing yourself when no one is there to watch? Are you choosing long-term purpose over short-term comfort? Are you building the life you once said you wanted? Or are you just surviving each day and hoping something shifts on its own? The mirror doesn't lie. If you've been avoiding the truth, that reflection will expose it. If you've been putting in the work, it will show that too. But you must look with intention. Not just to pass time. Look with a reason. Look to hold yourself to a higher standard. You don't need more people telling you what to do. You need to become your own leader. And every leader checks in. They inspect, they evaluate, they track. You need to lead yourself like your life depends on it. Because it does. Too many people drift through life waiting for a spark. They think motivation will suddenly wake them up. It won't. You've got to create it. And one of the most powerful ways to do that is by facing your own eyes and saying, enough is enough. I will not live another day beneath my potential. Make it a ritual. Every morning, stand in front of that mirror and ask yourself, did I give everything yesterday? And if the answer is no, then today must be different. You cannot keep giving yourself passes. You cannot keep letting yourself off the hook. You know what needs to change. You know what you've been avoiding. You know what's keeping you from moving forward. Say it, admit it, and then take action. This is not about perfection. It's about honesty. It's about facing the reality of your habits, your mindset, your choices. You don't need more time. You need more urgency. You don't need better circumstances. You need better standards. And the mirror is where those standards are set. Not in your goals, not in your dreams, in your reflection. Because until you hold yourself accountable daily, nothing changes. Start asking real questions. Are you disciplined, or are you still controlled by your emotions? Are you consistent, or are you still relying on mood and convenience? Are you focused, or are you still letting distractions steal your time? Are you proud of your priorities, or are you constantly breaking your own promises? These aren't cruel questions. They are necessary. Because if you don't ask them, your life will never rise beyond the level of your excuses. Look yourself in the eye and say what you really want. Don't hold back. Don't water it down. Don't make it sound reasonable. Say what you want in full. Then say what it's going to cost. Because everything you want has a price. And most people pretend the cost isn't real. They think they can achieve without sacrifice. You can't. The mirror is the place where you sign that contract with yourself. Every day, you say, I know what it costs, and I will pay it with my actions today. Do not expect change to come from comfort. Expect it to come from pressure. Pressure that you place on yourself every morning, when you choose to look and not look away. Pressure to rise, to improve, to stop settling. If you've spent years drifting, it doesn't mean you're broken. It means you've let too many days pass without checking in. That ends now. Because the moment you start holding yourself accountable with honesty, is the moment your standards start rising. You don't need to do everything today. You just need to stop lying to yourself. Stop saying you'll change when life gets easier. Stop saying you'll be more focused when things slow down. The mirror won't accept those lies. And deep down, neither will you. You know what's real. You know what needs to happen. So look yourself in the eye and speak the truth. Not to hurt yourself, to wake yourself up. This practice, this daily confrontation, will harden your mind and sharpen your drive. You'll start making decisions differently. You'll stop tolerating weakness in your habits. You'll stop giving energy to things that waste your time. Because once you see the truth, you can't unsee it. And when you demand real change every morning, you start living in alignment. You stop performing and start transforming. You stop drifting and start building. You stop waiting and start becoming. Real progress starts the day you stop pretending. And that begins with a mirror and a voice that says, it's time to change.